So how do I come up with my ideas? I think I know when I'm going into the studio if I'm going to be going down the sampling route or if I'm going to go down the original route. If I'm going down my original, like straight up ROS T tracks, always 100% of the time, I start with the chords or the keys. I need to know where and this this is probably like half my problem with mixdowns because like a lot of people say start with the kick, start with the drums, blah blah blah, get your body in, and yeah, that's definitely right, and it would probably save me a lot of pain later. It probably would save me a lot of pain, and then I'm not like battling trying to get the kick and the bass and getting things with phase and just the mix downs. Like I'll happily tell people what my biggest weaknesses are, and I know mix downs are my biggest weakness because it just it fries my mind. And A being is dangerous as well because you can like make a track and then you're like, oh, this sounds fantastic, and then you A B it and you're like, whoa, this is not good at all. And you should have been A Bing like right at the start. But for me, even though I know that that whole thing's gonna come, I like to start with the chords and then be like, I need to feel something from it. And like that's where like a lot of my stuff's like quite emotive in that because it's I need to feel something from it. I don't really make that much happy tunes. So I don't know. Yeah, I'd always have to start with the chords. I need to know like what it's gonna be. But
Yeah, but that explains the emotive feelings in your music, the emotive textures, which I think is really amazing about your tunes. And then, what's the process then for you? Say once you've got your chords or your, that kind of emotive feeling in your
yeah,
track, how
yeah.
do you then kind of develop your ideas to get it to some kind of finished state?
So I always go, let's say, go chords, and what I've been working on more recently with my bass lines is to make the bass lines more creative. Like my issue is I don't really have too much room with like for being creative with the bass lines because a lot of my motive tracks, it's like I can have like 30, 40 tracks in there. I'll have like three different pads, a brass, violins, cello, obviously under textures, you got the drums, you got the snares, you got all that kind of stuff, and it's an absolute battlefield trying to mix all of that together. And that is the reason why I have so much issues with my mixdowns because I have so much stuff in it, and I come back to that thing like less is more. Everyone tells me I need to do it, and I definitely do need to do it, but it's hard because it's trying to break that routine because I'm like, oh, now I need a brass. Oh, now I need the strings. It's like you know where you're going each time, and it's like don't forget the cello. And then even though you got a bass in, then you got a bass and a cello fighting each other. And then this thing I was speaking to Connor Dalton, a mastering and mixing engineer, and I was talking to him about like the bass and kick relationship and how it's just an absolute nightmare, and he was getting me to check out a thing called Auto Line that does this thing with phase. But we'll go into that. Like that's we can chat about that in a wee bit because that's complicated. Like, but I can explain it a bit better. But once I get to that point, I always try to find a vocal. Always kind of like most of my tracks, 90% of them have a vocal. I just feel like a vocal connects so well with people, and to me as well, it just gives that extra bit of life because a lot of my instruments are in the box and they're obviously digital and there's all kind of like mathematical madness going on to create that sound. So I think it is good to kind of like bring some real life into it. Like I did have a Moog Sub Fatty. I ended up selling that because it was a bit too much for what I was wanting. I should have went for something like more poly and that. So I ended up getting a Korg mini log, which is great. But my dream is to get a Prophet, Dave Smith Prophet 6 or something, that can kind of give you the full whack of it all. But the price tag that's on top of that, like I just it's when you see like some of these amazing studios, I just think I'm like, how much does that? It's like some of the studios, it's like I'm looking at it's got to be about 100 grand. Some of the studios, it's nuts.
Yeah.